Today we're going to talk about a problem that I wish I knew when I first started my multiplayer game. As you can see in the video, when lag is introduced, when the client shoots, there is a delay on the animation. If your game is a first-person shooter or is fast-paced, you're going to want to sit back and relax and learn about local prediction. If you like Unreal Engine tutorials, make sure you like and subscribe for more Unreal Engine videos. First thing first, let's start off by creating a new Unreal Engine 5 project. We're going to click on Games, then Third Person Template, and then we're going to call it Lag Rep and hit Create. We're going to start off by clicking on the BP Third Person Character Blueprint. Double click to open it and dock it to expand it. Then go to Edit and Project Settings, then look for Input on the left hand side and hit the plus sign from the action mappings. We're going to create our own by typing shoot gun. Then click on the arrow to expand it, click on the keyboard, then click on the left mouse button to bind it. Now that we're done, close the window and search up shoot gun, the input that you just created. Then we're going to create a new custom event and call it server_shoot. After that, we're going to create a second one and call it multi_shoot. For the server_shoot, we're going to go to the detail tab, and under replicates, we're going to put run on server. And for multi_shoot, we're going to select multicast. For the input action, we're going to connect server_shoot, but make sure you spell it wrong or else you won't find it in the list. If you have questions or concerns or any other multiplayer issues, make sure you leave a comment below. Let's have a conversation. When you create server shoot, make sure you drag it to the press arrow. For server_shoot, we're going to drag it to multi-shoot. And for multi-shoot, we're going to add the function of shooting. For this example, we're going to just use a print string to represent shooting, but later on I will add an animation in. For the string, I typed in I shot the gun with a lot of exclamation marks. I hooked it up, and then for the text color I changed it to green just to represent multicast. I compile to check for errors, and then I hit play to test it in game. And as you can see, every time we click, the I shot the gun string comes out on the upper left hand corner in green. Now that worked, let's test multiplayer. Under number of players, change it to 2, and under net mode, change it to play as listen server. When I test as a client, everything works as it should. The shooting is broadcast for the server and for the client. Now what we're gonna do next is to emulate lag, and this is where the problem lies. Go to Advanced Settings for Network, and then make sure to check mark Enable Network Emulation. Under Emulation Target, make sure you select everyone, and for incoming traffic, make sure you click Bad. This will represent lag. I added more lag just to exaggerate the problem. I increase all latency to 100 more. Then I hit play to test again. And as you can see, it's working because the client is loading much slower. You won't be able to tell in this example, but every time I click, it takes about a second to shoot. So I closed out of the project to show you the problem more clearly. I created another print string to show you a local action, and I connected it directly to the input action without any RPC calls. In the in string, I typed in instant shot with a lot of exclamation marks, and I changed it to yellow to represent local prediction. I clicked on play to test for the third time, and then I waited as a client to load in. Now you can see the main problem on relying on RPC calls to handle everything for you. When you left click, you can instantly see instant shot string popping up. Then a few moments later, you can see I shot the gun. When you shoot, it is not happening instantly, and this is where the problem lies for most fast-paced games or first-person shooters. And if I spam this example, more weird things happen, as you can see in the print strings. If this scenario is still hard to understand, what I'm going to do next is use an animation as an example. This will give you a real life scenario that you might do in your project. So I went into my Epic Games library and then I searched up for Pistol Starter Pack. It is free to download on the Unreal Engine Marketplace. Make sure you select it and make sure you add it to your current project. And if you remember, mine was called LagRep, and wait for the program to install it into your project. And voila! A new folder appears in my content folder, pistol_starter. Under animation, I click on fire and I look for the W1 Sandfire single. The next thing I'm going to do is retarget this animation to my Unreal Engine twin character by right clicking it and choosing retarget animation assets, then clicking duplicate and retarget animation asset. In the IK section, I hit the drop down and look for RTG UE mani. And for target skeletal mesh, I'm going to look for SKM Quinn and then hit retarget. We now duplicated the animation with the proper skeletal mesh, so we're going to create a montage so we can use it in our blueprint. Now that we're done, go back to your third person character blueprint and create a play montage node. Connect it and look for the new animation montage we made. Don't forget to drag out your mesh and connect it to the play montage under in skeletal mesh component. I compiled and play, and as you can see, as the server, as there's no latency, everything works as it should. Every time I click to shoot, the animation montage plays instantly. But now let's test the client. As you can see, every time I shoot, represented as yellow, it takes a while to give visual feedback. And this is a horrible experience for clients because lag is being displayed, especially those with high pings, and this will make your game feel very unresponsive. I went back to the network settings and I changed the packet loss percentage to 2 because it was not even triggering when I would click with packet loss. I went and hit play, and you could clearly see what I'm talking about in this example. Every time I shoot, the client takes a while to display its animation. To alleviate this problem, you can simply just add your animation montage directly to the input action with some modifications, or you can add gas into your project like I did in this example. What I did next is loaded in a gas example project that I had ready for this tutorial, and then open the BP main character. And then I clicked on the ability system component on the left side, and on the right side I expanded gravity abilities, and I chose the GSC gameplay ability for a quick example. I hit the plus sign to create a new one on the fly. And for this example, I did the same thing and I created a print string to represent shooting. And then I typed in shoot with a lot of exclamation marks. Now that we're done with our ability, we will have to bind it to the input 1 key. I could have created a new input, but for the sake of time, I just used number 1. I then dragged out the ability system component and put it into the event graph. I then searched out try activate ability by class to trigger the new ability that we just created. In the ability to activate, search up the new ability name that you just created. For example, ours is called new gameplay ability. Now it's time to test. And as you can see, as a client, when I hit 1, it shoots instantly, even gets broadcast instantly. But let's add some lag by going to the advanced network settings and check marking enabled network emulation. Same as before, for emulation target, hit everywhere and start adding more lag than usual. And I hit play to test out the server first. And as always, the server is always instant. And as a client, you can now see that everything works instantly as well. Now the reason why I showcase gas as another alternative fix is because gas has an endless of tools in your fingertips when it comes to replication, local prediction, and client prediction. If I go back to my ability that I just created and then click on the class defaults, you can see I can execute this ability however I want, and by default I can set the net execution policy to locally predicted or local only or server initiated along with server only. This is one of the many features that Gas provides to make multiplayer developing much easier. If you like reinventing the wheel, you by all means do not have to use this, but from experience I'm telling you, Gas really does help you, especially if you're new to game developing and have a hard time grasping multiplayer, RPC calls and whatnot. I hope now you understand about local prediction and how to use it in your game. In my case, I had to redo my project several times because I was not aware about local prediction. If you enjoyed watching this video, make sure you like and subscribe, and click on the video to the right if you want to know more about UE5 tutorials. If you love what you see, make sure you support me on Patreon for more exclusive content.